It is Saturday, December 6th. It is basically 10 a.m. And today we are hauling my 95 Searay 330. And it's raining. So there's a lot to do in a day. And I'm always late. I get hauled out at 11. And it is 10. I still have another 15-minute drive to the ramp, and then probably another 10-minute drive back to the boat. And then I have to drive the boat to the ramp, which is probably another 20 minutes. And the hauler is usually early, and they can't be on the road hauling anything later than noon because it's a Saturday. So we're going to see what happens. And one of my boat stands, the wood was broken. And because I procrastinate everything, I said, I'll do it Saturday morning. And I woke up at 9. So that's another issue that is going to have to get addressed. I don't know how it's going to get addressed. I'm hoping I just cut wood. I'm hoping I can just wedge it in between the boat and the stand and see if that works. If not, I don't know. We'll do some sketchy stuff. That's about how we run around here. So let's get the boat hauled and then winterize it. And I will see you down at the boat. All right, here we are at the boat. I gotta take that bimini top off and then get her unhooked and get going. Let's get this canvas off. We'll get that bimini top off because you can't have that going on the trailer. And then we'll disconnect the shore power, get our lines off, and then we will start heading to the ramp. It is very nice out though. I was down at the bay and it is like glass right now, so let's see if we can get a little ride in out of this too. Alright, so now we just have to find a place for this canvas. That's good. These cables are just my radar cables. I took the arch down last night. It was like 1 in the morning. All right, let's fire the old girl up. We'll get the shore power disconnected. That's one. All right, that's one. Right up. Starboard's up now. Once it starts pumping water, I like to let it idle at like 1,000. Especially that port motor that's smoking. You can't see it, but take it for a little trip. She's smoking pretty good. She's just running rich at idle. Alright, so I got some fuel stabilizer I gotta put in before we go. 1 ounce treats, 10 gallons. I have 2 100-gallon tanks. Essentially, I think one's like 110, one's like 105. I fill them to 3/4. Since that's 75, so 7 ounces. Man. Alright, so we'll do 8 ounces in each tank. Call it a day. Pretty straightforward. Find your gas tanks. There's measurements on the side, and I'll just do 8 ounces a side. Oh, that's a camera. 8 ounces a side. That'll treat 80 gallons, which is almost my entire tank. So there is no method to my madness. I don't have a plan, ever. So everything's kind of like, you'd be like, hey, you probably should have did that already. And I didn't. I already ran the motors and then forgot I didn't put stabilizer in it. So, I mean, it's not a big deal, but you would think like, oh, let's do all the other stuff before we get the motors running. No, that's not how I roll. And then I forget stuff. I really should have a list because I do forget stuff, but we're not doing any of that. All right, let's get the motors back running. get some lines off. All right, that's the bow lines. Let's get the sterns and get out of here. All right, at no point should you ever just leave lines laying on the deck. I'm not going for. Whatever, I don't care. All right, let's get moving. So we just pulled out into the Patchwork River, and we are heading to the ramp over at Corey Beach. All right, we're exiting now for the Patchwork River. I'm gonna get on it a little bit. I know he's waiting, but I just want to. The boat hasn't been ran good in about a month, so I just want to run it in 5 minutes, and then we should get a pretty good video of us getting on the trailer. It's a hydraulic trailer, and yeah, show you what that's like. Here we go. Shallow up against that seawall on my port side. Got our hauler backing down the ramp now. Low wind. That should be easy. Alright, so I tried to get as much as I could. I wanted to set up the phone in my truck so you guys can kind of see them haul it out and strap it down. Didn't work out. It's kind of why I hate the haul outs. They're a little hectic, they're a little chaotic. There's a lot going on. I'm a very hands-on person, so I need to be paying attention. So unfortunately for you guys, that means you don't get to see everything. But yeah, I already asked him if we could stop at a gas station. He said no problem. Got like 20-30 minute drive because we're going through back roads, so should see you at the gas station maybe. If not, I'll see you at the house. All right, so we have left the gas station. Got $100 aside, which came out 34-ish gallons each. So right on the money with the stabilizer estimate. I got about 3/4-ish in each tank, which is around 75 gallons. So 8 ounces, well, 1 ounce treats 10, 8 ounces is 80. So our fuel is stabilized, and now we're gonna go home and winterize the rest of the boat. I've already done the head and the freshwater system, the water tank. I actually winterized the engines 3 days ago because it dropped down to like 20. So I winterized that. The air conditioning never got winterized because I wanted heat on the boat, and I figured if water's moving, it's not going to freeze, and it didn't. So I got lucky with that. It was only one night. So yeah, when we get home, we're going to winterize the air conditioning and both the engines. It's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but I'll show you anyway. And if you can learn something, that's cool. If you can learn enough to do it on your own, that's even better, because boating isn't cheap. Everybody who's in boating knows that, and it's not getting any cheaper. So, you know, a big reason why I can have, you know, this size of a boat is because I do everything myself, short of like fiberglass work. I've never tried, but I don't know if I'm willing. We'll see, maybe one day. So yeah, let's get the boat home, blocked, and start winterizing stuff. See you there. All right, we've pulled up to the house. I'm gonna try and get a good angle of them hauling and blocking it. Alright, so we got the boat home. We're in the driveway. I power washed the boat. I didn't feel like that was worth recording, and I was gonna record, and then a couple of my neighbors stopped by. I kind of got distracted, and then I'm like, alright, I need to get this done. It's like a few hours later. Boat was done and blocked. I think at like 12:30 they got out of here. It was pretty quick. Probably took like an hour to power wash. I think we're pushing 3 o'clock now. So we're gonna winterize the engines, and then we have to go buy more antifreeze so I can do the air conditioning system. I'll show you how to do all that. This boat's real easy. My sea strainers have threaded caps, so I just pop those, and I just dump antifreeze when the boat's running. It's a little easier with 2 people, so you don't have to run back and forth, but I'm not really concerned about my water pumps because I'm going to replace them anyway. So if they get smoked, they get smoked. It's not a big deal. I'm replacing them this winter anyway, so it's really no sweat. So yeah, if you're worried about me dry running them, don't, because they're getting replaced. We don't care. And even if they did get smoked, they're like $50 in parts. Yeah, the labor is the labor, but it's my labor, so it's free, right? That's what I say, at least. All right, let's get some antifreeze through these motors, and then get the canvas back on. Another week or so, I'll have my buddy Max. He's got a YouTube channel, Mobile Max Marine. Check him out. He'll come and shrink wrap the boat for me. So, all right, let's do it. All right, there's our antifreeze. We have an electric driven hatch, so we're gonna lift that now. All right, it's not really gonna help, but all right, and we have our sea strainers right there. Shut off is right there, sea cock. So yeah, those caps, I'll hit them with a hammer and they just thread off. Yeah, so let me get this phone set up so you can kind of see me doing this, but I don't know how easy that's gonna be. So, all right, let's see. So let's shut off this sea cock. So now that that's closed, I can pop this cap off. I should probably use a softer hammer because this is brass. It does kind of mar it up a little, but it's all right. Replacement one is probably like $500 too. So, all right. So cap off. We'll pull the strainer out. I cleaned these the other day, but they're not dirty or anything. There's like a little sediment in the bottom, but for the most part they're clean. So, all right, open my antifreeze and I'll be back in a second. All right, so we have our antifreeze laid in here. Time to start the motor and start dumping it in. And it's 3 gallons, which I believe is more than enough. My hose runs aren't that long. But I go out and look at the exhaust and confirm that there's pink in there. And once there's pink in there, it's good. So, all right, let's get the motor started. Is there a better way to do this? Probably. Like I said, it's the first year with the boat, so it's kind of, I'm very unprepared always. So we'll better figure out something better next year. But for now, this is going to do the trick. shut it off really fast. On the starboard side, I couldn't really find a good angle. The seacock's over here, I'm just shutting that off. And then here's the cap for this side. I'm just gonna hammer that off. Strainer. All right, this one's clean. The bottom's blown out on that. I should probably get another one. All right, I'm gonna start this one, and then we'll dump the antifreeze. So I was debating on how I wanted to do the air conditioning system. So that red pump right there is my air conditioning pump. And I think I could pop that cap and then just do the same thing, but I don't, my short power adapter's gone for the house. So I think I'm gonna do what kind of everybody else does and just backfeed it from the overboard discharge, which is under the bed. I think that's how I'm gonna go about it. So I'm gonna go buy antifreeze because I had another case, but I used it the other night when I had to winterize this thing when it dropped to 20. So, all right, let's go to Home Depot, come back and get that done, and then we could call it for today. Then we got some work to do. I think honestly, I'm gonna have to do risers, at least the gaskets. It's freshwater cooled, you know, you can tell by the heat exchangers. I don't know how old the risers are. They're clean, but they kind of leak. This, I was told, is from when they took the generator out. There was a generator on this boat, and they said it was just leaking from that, but I don't know. I found a couple coolant leaks. I think I got to replace this heat exchanger. I'm losing coolant, and it's very foamy in that heat exchanger. I can't pull it now because they're still hot. So I think I'm doing a heat exchanger, risers, and then this remote housing is leaking from where the lines connect to the block down there. So I'll have to, I got some stuff to address. Kind of have to do the coupler. There's a coupler that goes from the flywheel to the transmission, and I hear the knocking when it's in gear. So I don't know, hopefully I'll have some good content for you guys through the winter. I do, like I said, I do all my own work. So I don't know, if you want to learn something, be my guest. If not, and you just want to listen, also be my guest. So we're in the cabin. This is under my V-berth. That is the discharge for the raw water that cycles through the air conditioning. So it's just these 2 hose clamps. We're gonna pop off this hose and then dump probably 2 or 3 gallons of antifreeze through it. And then again, we're just gonna go to the bottom of the boat, make sure we got pink everywhere, and then we're winterized. Like I said, I did my fresh water. Don't worry about anything you see on here. I did the fresh water in the head already, so this stuff is all done. That's really it. I mean, when it comes to winterizing, you're just running antifreeze through everything. I don't generally change my oil in the winter. I like to do it in the spring. I don't know. Everybody says different stuff. I just don't like changing oil and then letting it sit for 5 to 6 months. So, I don't know. I've researched it. Maybe I'll do more research and see what I think again, because I always change my mind. It's something I love to do. So, all right, let's get some antifreeze through this thing and get it done. So we're back, and I got the hose off. It's a little bit of a pain to get off, to be honest, but it's like a hard hose. So now, with no funnel, because I'm a very smart person, we're just gonna dump antifreeze down that water line. I got 3 gallons up here. Brought 3 just in case. Should only need 2, but we're just gonna dump a 3 in. So we'll just very gently let this flow in there. And I'm gonna get some spillage, of course. Oh yeah. Oh good. It's not flowing through. Oh, that was an air pocket, I think. Alright. So very slowly. It's probably gonna be very time consuming. So alright, so that's 2 gallons. I'm gonna go look underneath the boat because my wrist hurts and I'm unbelievably impatient. So we're gonna go see what it looks like down below. If we got any flow, and if we do, then I'm calling it a day because I'm all done. It's not a lot of work, it really isn't. I just I get impatient and sidetracked at the same time. So let's go see. So I already checked the exhaust. We have pink coming out of the ports. And then somewhere right around there. No. Other side, I believe. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's my sea strainer. Yep. And we got pink coming out of there. It's all in the driveway. That's all pink. All right, well, that wraps it up for the winterizing. Any work I do, I mean, I'm gonna probably record it and post it if I remember. So, yeah. It was an eventful day. I think it's almost like 4 o'clock. So, I'm gonna go shower and then I'm gonna go to dinner. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day. So I'll get back to you when the shrink wrap comes, and then I guess throughout the winter.